There is a saying that leaders are born and leaders are made. As per me, a leadership is a science, leadership is an art, leadership is everything. You will be doing your own war against yourself every day. The northern direction is always towards the direction of death, we can call, or a direction of spirituality. It is a direction of renunciation. There is one illusion thinking that other person is leading a very good life.
सत्युग आएगा आएगा नहीं, सत्युग लाना पड़ेगा. Hello everyone, welcome to Asli Kahani Podcast. Today we have very amazing guest with us. He has spent almost 2 decades in media. He's an ocean of information, and today we're gonna talk about so many interesting facts, unsung heroes, stories that we have not aware of. We can call today is not just a podcast, it's an Asli University, because you all are going to learn a lot from him. He's Navaneeth CM. Welcome Navaneeth for
Thank you.
Asli Kahani Podcast, and I'm very excited, and I'm gonna sit today as a student, and I know I'm gonna learn a lot, and our audience will also learn so many things from you. So first of all, like, how are you feeling?
Oh, Nakul, thank you so much for this very good introduction. I'm really feeling a little nervous because all these days, no, even I have done interviews, or else the only thing is that I've been just part of the participants. Never ever I have been just part of the interview where I'm being interviewed. So this is a kind of a different, unique moment for me also. So I'm just thinking I'm also very excited at the same time, a little nervous and quite skeptical how I'll be just performing and whether I'll just live up to your expectations or not.
See, literally when you said yes for the podcast, no, so I understood that. Oh my God, this is like another. I'll be going back to my college time, and today I'm gonna sit with someone with because we have met multiple times, and I know whenever we meet, you are sharing so many things, and it's increasing my knowledge power. Because what I feel, why we are doing podcast and all those, na, this particular thing will help us to learn a lot. Like,
Correct.
we are not restricted to something. Generally whatever we are doing in general life, we after one certain point of time, we stop learning. And personally I feel like whenever we stop learning, then it's our downfall.
Correct.
We have to keep learning every day, and this Asli Kahani and this media profession give us that kind of a space that where we meet different people, and almost every genre people we meet, and they share their experiences, their life journeys. So, like, yes, I think first I want to just, if you can just give a glimpse of your journey so far in the media, like how it changed your perspective towards life, and when you started, how you started.
Definitely. See, I've done my bachelor's in electrical engineering, and also there is one small thing where I was able to do my MBA also. I was always interested to get into the management roles because always I felt that this is where you can just contribute something to any organization. See, getting some leadership qualities. There is a saying that leaders are born and leaders are made. As per me, a leadership is a science, leadership is an art, leadership is everything. So how you can just have those tools? We have seen many people who just think that yes, I'm a very good leader, I can do that, I can lead a team, everything. But when there are breakdowns, that is where you have to just stand up. Each and every task that we take, it will not be successful. There will be plethora of disturbances, so volatility, everything will be coming. So what I thought, this MBA can give you an edge. It gives you some cutting edge tools to represent yourself very powerfully. This is a life which we love. At the same time, this life, we have to really live it very, very powerfully also. Power in the sense, it is not getting into the politics or bureaucracy or showing the might. So it is not a question of financial power or muscle power. It is the improvement of the self. So today I may be a different person. Tomorrow I may be a better person compared to today. If you see any teachings, management teachings, or teachings about spirituality, or else if we learn anything from any good books of very good writers, they all vow to just make the world a very better place to live. If there is no peace, then there is a famous saying that each and the purpose of every war is peace. So war is done for peace. So you will be doing your own war against yourself every day. We'll be waging our own wars. So when I started my career, the initial days, I just thought of, oh, this is a very pressurized job, I cannot just continue here, I want to just quit it. So many times those kind of feelings have really hit me very hard. So thinking that, oh, I should have been in an IT sector, I should have been in a real estate sector, or else any other different sector, because we are into time selling. I'm mainly into advertising and marketing, where time selling, each and every minute is important for us. So electronic media is like that. Every day you need to just count the revenues, what is coming, every second matters to us. In terms of print media, it is space selling. In terms of electronic media, it is time selling. So that discipline in time, and we have to value the time. So that is what I've really learned, valuing the time. And the most important thing is that don't give yourself to anybody. Be yourself anywhere you stand. Just don't fake. So just don't fake. The responsibility is something that we have to carry, even if people are not seeing us, even if people are not observing us. So that is a responsibility. And I have always believed that we need to have perfect role models. Now in this world, there is an infatuation towards many celebrities. So think that your parents, your grandparents, your uncles and aunts, the gurus or the teachers who have shaped up your life, or else it may be your neighbors also, anybody whom from whom you have become a better person, follow them, follow their footsteps. They may not be famous. All famous people may not be good. Or as the people who are not famous, who keep their lives very low profile and disciplined, these are the people who have contribute enormously to the world. It is not only think that people who come to the media or who show their faces very prominently are the only persons whom you have to follow. There are so many low profile people, there are so many great people who do not like the limelight, but they have got the ethics, they have got the culture. So they have been, they may not be in the forefront. For example, if we take any better person, or else if we have any famous personality, what can be the contributions of their parents, their fathers, their mothers in their lives? So of late they have been sharing about the contribution of their elders also in their lives. That is what it is. Even a single person cannot say that he became successful only because of himself. The community, the society, the self, his parents, the circle, the motivation that they give, the moral lessons their grandparents would have given to them, or else the moral lessons which their gurus or the teachers or the lecturers or the professors who would have given to them, it makes a remarkable difference in each and every person's lives. So I personally think that you can have any kind of role models, but the only problem with today's generation, I feel that you go overboard with a celebrity, thinking that you have to be like that, you have to be like them. But they are the celebrities today, the only reason being they have done a lot of hard work in the past. They have gone through insults, they have gone through doubts, they have gone through humiliations, everything. After that, they have been in this particular role. So having an infatuation towards the celebrities, it has to be stopped. And always think calmly, think deeply. So think perfectly from different dimensions, different angles. So there absolutely your life will be very, very green. So that is what I think that I have just come across this spirit. And also there should be an information always. If there is no information, there will be no interaction. When we were kids, we were just asked by our teachers and parents to read the newspapers daily. Now that reading the newspapers, inculcating that good habits are being evaporated. Always don't lose hope. I've seen people thinking that, okay, 2 decades back it was there, I could not do that. Each and every day is a fresh day. I remember the founder of KFC started his enterprise at 65 years. So most of the people who have retired from the services have been really doing great after their retirement. They have chased their dreams, they have made many permanent solutions for different walks of life. So people who have worked for banks, people who work for government services, they have been in their exemplary services. After their retirement, they have gone for new inventions, they have got for discoveries, they have given a lot of contribution towards the society. Always don't think that yesterday is the past, but we have to just carry some lessons of the past and today and tomorrow. So there are many green days awaiting for you. Don't get depressed, don't get frustrated, don't think, and don't please compare your lives to any other person. So there is one illusion thinking that other person is leading a very good life. That itself is a very big illusion. You cannot know what that person is undergoing. So each and every person will have their challenges. Don't think that only the cricketers have achieved more, or else only the tinsel town celebrities or the people from uh, films have just achieved. So the only thing is that they get a rousing recognition which other fields may not give you. But at the same time, it is very, very difficult to be in their shoes, because they have to go through the limelight, they have to go through the challenges. Even if they do not have opportunities, it is very, very difficult for them to lead the stardom life. So each and every person, any individual will have those challenges. Always be in a group. So fit into group dynamics. That is what it is most important. If you think that only individually you can prosper, or else only individually you can achieve wonders, you can achieve it. But more faster you can achieve your individual goals if you are in a group. Always fit into group dynamics. Always give your best into whatever we do. So that is the important dimension of life which we have to understand, because today's graduates, they become bureaucrats, they become politicians, they become engineers, they become doctors. They will give a shape to the society of tomorrow. So that is why it is very, very important to inculcate that discipline. At the same time, get them the stories of heroes of our Mahabharata, the Itihasa, what we call Ramayana, Mahabharata. You have so many great poems, you have so many great freedom fighters, the kings who have ruled, and at the same time, they have also done great to protect our mother India from the foreign inventions. These kind of stories will definitely keep the youth motivated, and also at the same time, this youth can take a glimpse of the lives of our heroes. Heroes are ordinary people with extraordinary commitment. So through this very good podcast of Asli Kahani, so I can just request all of you to be heroes with an extraordinary commitment.
See, nowadays, what I feel now, everywhere, like, because it's showing what we see, we think in that way only. The shade of our eyes, with look, it looks, we sees that world is like that only. So most of the time, we are seeing everywhere it's negative, negative, negative. We think that oh, everywhere only negative is happening, whether it's TV, cinema, everywhere they are projecting negatives more. And in that time, it's very important to be a positive magnet, so that whatever positive people, positive things are happening around you, you should involve in those things instead of just criticizing negative thing. Try to find whatever positive is happening. In that way, maybe our coming generation will understand that world is beautiful, life is amazing. You just start like, because as you said that people are getting depressed a lot, overthinking. Every few months or years when new words are coming, so nowadays like depression is in trend. So everyone is feeling that I am depressed. They don't know what is depression, but
Correct.
they are depressed. They
Very true.
don't seriously, the majority of people I have seen are uh, they have nothing. They just want sadness.
Correct.
They are overthinking for everything. They are overthinking. I think over availability of information is becoming kind of a evil in the society now.
What you said is absolutely right. The only thing is that people overthink. Even if we can give an example of a decade back or 2 decade back, when internet was not a part of our lives, what we had, you were only getting the news through the newspapers. So then after that, this 24-hour media of news channels came. So after that, we are thinking about the news during our Doordarshan days and all. We were just seeing one or two news bulletins and we were just happy. Then we were having the news platform through the newspapers. So even news channels, I just bit differ from you. The only thing is that what is so most of there has been complaints on news channels saying that they'll always be giving negative news. They'll always be giving the news that is not good for the society. See, the only thing is that the way what we think. So media, if you take it, so it is called as the fourth state of democracy. The first state being the legislature, second being the executive, and third being the judiciary. So along with that, so media plays a very important role with the dissemination of information. Dissemination of information has to be more responsible, accurate, and truthful. There are some times where there are some exaggeration of facts that can be avoided. During COVID, most of the people, when the index and the data of the news of COVID patients uh, being rising every day, the total count of COVID patients, so the availability of oxygen beds, the availability of ventilators were all being displayed. So it is normally a human psychology. So whatever you show in a very big way, that impacts the human psychosis. So if we see some good things, so good thoughts will emancipate. So if we see the bad thoughts, so bad thoughts will become a lifelike figure and it will try to haunt us. So we have to strike a balance. So that is why now most of the doctors just give us a call that keep your phone 1.5 hour before you sleep, before you retire to the bed. So 2 decades back, 3 decades back, people used to have a glimpse of classical music, Hindustani music, Carnatic music. They used to listen a lot of uh, violin ensembles or percussion. So that used to give them a very good sleep. But now, due to the availability of resources, what you said, so now things have been very dynamic. It has become real time. But always. There is one fact, I don't know whether I can just add it. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, there will be a very interesting conversation between Narada Muni and Veda Vyasa. So he wonders who was Narada Muni. So Narada Muni, Veda Vyasa wants to know more about Narada Muni. So he just gets in depth. So Narada Muni says that he lost his mother when during the age of 4 or 5. She went to just fetch the milk the cow, and a snake bite happened, and he did not have a father. By his father was also dead, and his mother was also dead, and he just started his journey towards the northern direction is always towards the direction of death, we can call, or a direction of spirituality. It is a direction of renunciation where you live everything and go towards the north. So northern India, you have got the Himalayas, you have got Kedarnath, you have got Badrinath. That is a place of spiritual progress. So at that point of time, then Lord Narayana appears and he has given a spiritual body which is eternal. So he sees all the yugas and all. Then again, Vedavyas says, "What did you see when you lost your mother?" He says that I invaded through the forest. I was able to see beautiful cities. I was able to see uh, mines of copper, mines of gold, mines of diamond. So I was able to see industries. I was able to see kings. I was able to see the army. I was able to see different kind of progress which people were using the weapons. I was seeing different kind of jewelries that were made on. So he says one thing, so don't ever think that what the world which we are living is real. The towns, the beautiful cities, the emperors, the mines, the flower valleys existed 1,000 years back also. It exists today also. It exists next 1,000 years also. So, what is the take from this conversation is we may think that we have achieved a great progress in terms of technology, in terms of artificial intelligence or anything. So, we have made a great progress, we may think. But at the same time, I'm not telling the progress is really amazing that what we have done in this present day world, but we have to remember the fact that technology existed during different yugas, during different timelines also, but was in different forms. It would not be in the same form. It would not have been the radio technology which is prominent, which we are using for mobile communication, or which is prominent for satellite communication. But there would be a different type of phones or different types of communication, or satellite communication would have been available even during that point of time also. So during this conversation, what we can think is, it is not the thing that we are the only generation who are making it, or else we are the only centenarians. I mean, only this century only we have got the progress. It is not like that. Newer technologies will come, newer cultures will come, everything will come. But it is how we adapt ourselves. So there are good things existed even in the past. Good things will exist in the future also. Bad things should not dominate us. The only thing is that now there are technologies available which has been designed so to trouble the mankind. But always technology is very important for the progress. Even we come from a state where Saram Vishweshwaraya, the great doyen, he has created many engineering marvels like the KRS, so which is very famous, and even our Engineers Day is celebrated as a befitting tribute to him. He hails from Muddanahalli in Chikbalapur. He was one of the greatest engineering marvels in India, and he was also conferred Bharat Ratna way back in 1961. So he tells one thing: industrialize or perish. He says industrial productivity is very important. Even 60, 70 years back, he was able to find out, because India, being an agrarian economy, of 70% of India's progress was into agriculture. So he says that we have to industrialize. If we do not industrialize, we will perish. And that is how our KSDL, Karnataka Soap Detergents Limited, Mysore Electrical Industries, and many of the organizations, VSIL, so in Bhadravati, Kudremukh Iron Ore Company, to just name a few, these were all the ideas, executions done by Saram Vishweshwaraya. So industrialization is always required. So nobody should go against industrialization or infrastructure. So even if you see our country, so according to the latest statistics, so it is around 8% total growth is it is going. I'm not telling about the GDP. So it includes the per capita income also. So when we speak about the per capita income, every year 8 new airports, 2 to 3 different metro systems, metro rail systems are getting connected in different parts of the country, and 28 kilometers of highways are being laid. So every day, which is a really great progress. You want connectivity, you want everything. The only thing is that you have to use technology. There should be a limitation also. Technology should not take you away from the social gatherings. Technology should not take you away from the culture. So technology should not make you isolated. Even now, if we see the invent of the robots, I don't know how the future young parents are just going to deal with their kids. Now, if you just bring a robo, I've just heard some of my friends telling that he got a robo imported from Japan, and it is speaking to his daughter so prominently. His daughter doesn't need any friends, his daughter doesn't need any parents. She'll always be there with the robo. So what the robo does, it instructs, she does that. If she wants it to dance, it dances. So this kind of a technology is very dangerous. So we have to see that at what point, what limitation the technology should help us. If technology goes to a different level, then we are definitely in real trouble.
See, technology I always see as a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
It has benefits also, but it has like pros and
It
cons
is
both.
ultimately man-made.
And again, when it's like we generally say in a smartphone, so we are telling very clearly the phone is smart, not us.
Correct.
So this phone is making us fool. We are spending full day on the phone, and now that concentration power has reduced to
It is
30 seconds.
reduced. Very, very well said.
Everything we want in 30 seconds. We are not interested to read, to see long videos, and what we will understand in that 30 seconds. If you want to understand any particular thing, at least spend some time. Back in the days, we when like maybe 20 years back and all, whenever if we have to do something, if we have to make some project also, we used to do research. We used to go out. See, abhi everything is on the fingertips, and now after Chat GPT, though it's like you don't need to check the different articles also. Everything Chat GPT is saying that I'm giving you this information, you just believe it.
Nicole, I just want to add this as far as you just spoke about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an enormous, amazing, awesome technology that is there. But now, some time back, we had done one seminar. So telling that whether ChatGPT can become the next poet, because it has made so much advances. We have found so many Oliver Goldsmith, so H.W. Longfellow, so Shakespeare. There are so many great poets over there in uh, the English poetry and prose space. But now with the advancement of Chat GPT, so it is quite failing in terms of regional language. Like if we take the example of Kannada, it will not be able to just have that nativity quotient, but still that is being improved. It may be Telugu or Tamil or Hindi or any other different language. But as far as its English prowess is concerned, English dominance is concerned, it has reached the highest level. So I don't know what will happen to the English world of poets. So that is the kind of chat GPT that is there. And even if you see the university education, it is giving a lot of input. When we were doing our degrees, or anybody, we had to go to PSUs, we had to go to industries, we had to go to a motor making company, understand. Just take out the machine drawing, what will be there in that particular machinery, what is the diagram. We were used to understand and to just know it physically, but now everything is given in terms of technology. So you have a lot of information, and when there is a lot of information available, we are the recipients. We cannot take so much of receipts of information towards us. I am a recipient, how much I can take. Even as the great Albert Einstein told that only 10% of the brain is used in the complete life cycle of a person, life cycle of an individual. So how much technology we can receive is the next question. So for example, a satellite is there. If you have so much signals in that, but that is called as encryption and decryption, which we could have used. So you can encrypt or decrypt only certain number of signals. So likewise, even the brain also. So how much it can respond to the stimuli. You get information on technology, you get information on real estate, you get information on comedy, you can get information on so much. But each and every person should think that whatever technology which we are seeing, so the technology should be there, it should be existing to help us to become better humans. So it should not ruin us. So the present day technology, we have to just be wary of it, because it is a new norm. Without technology, without the software, no state government or even government of India cannot survive, because everything is, even if you are depositing money to the farmers. So it is through the smartphone. So even the farming technology is also there. We use drones. So now, due to the lack of availability of labor, drone technology is going very big in agriculture, where you can just use it to spray the fertilizers, spray the pesticides and insecticides. So that is really good. But the only thing is that at what cost? Technology should not take our lives. Even the biggest nuisance only I called about the PUBG, where we could see many youngsters taking their lives to just reaching level 1 or different levels they were playing. So these kind of technologies are very dangerous. So, and always socialize. The only thing is that speak to your cousins, speak to your friends, speak to your relatives. So make your circle. That is where you get the happiness. See, whatever the happiness you get through the technology, that is without personal or without physical. If something you are getting that kind of an enthusiasm, it is only for a limited period. So I have seen, even you would have also just got this experience. So you call for a meeting or a party, so immediately all your graduate students, or else your classmates come. We will all be just hooking to our phones. So we'll only be just thinking, so what is the use of that meeting? So when you are going for a meeting, just give your 100%, because you may not know whether this will be the last meeting where you will be able to just make with it. So if you are just being in a group, give your best, whether your information get uses, or else try to help up. So how many of us, I just want to ask you, including me, how many of us have asked our close friends, so whatever they're undergoing in their life? Have we asked our cousins? Have we asked our lecturers? Have we asked anybody? Or else, even forget about our close friends, have we asked them what he or she is undergoing in their lives? We have not asked.
Correct,
So
correct.
it has become so mechanical. So very sorry to say, even if a person dies also, his tribute is only given in the WhatsApp group, or else in Facebook, right? Rip and be quiet. And just if you just meet, call that day saying that he was so close, she was so close, we spent so many good times. Just now, what will be the situation of their families? What difficulties would they be undergoing with that loss? Death is a irreparable loss, and it is imminent. Everybody should die. But if a person dies, at least what we can do is go to their homes, visit, pay your last respects, and meet the survivors, and just give them condolences and do your best to help them out. If any person is in a hospital, just go there. So now most of the people will have health insurance. They will not sit on your head and ask for money. Just go there. Even if there is a thing, there are many websites which will help you in fundraising. So just try, give your best. So if we do not give our best, no, we cannot do anything in life.
So one funny incident recently happened. Like it's a very serious situation. My relative got heart attack and he was going through bypass. And family may now everyone in the group and personally they are calling him again and again just to check
Check.
how is he. And I got literally irritated at one point of time. I'm like, you know, he's going through heart surgery. You are calling him on WhatsApp. What's running in your mind? Like that person is on inside the operation theater, and you are again and again calling him and कैसी तबीयत है आपका, all those messages is floating in the group. I'm like, seriously, what? You can't even understanding that's the seriousness at that hospital. What is happening? Because you are sitting at home, you just want update. So you're like, okay, then who is there? Connect us with that person, this and that. If I am there, I am attending him, so I'll be also having multiple things. Doctor must be asking something, something other thing. You're calling me again and again and disturbing me. You're sitting at home, you're just showing your concern. That's what technology has like taken us to that level.
That's a very valid point. I think people are losing sensitivity
Yeah.
and sensibility. So we have to be very, very careful. And see, it is not only the financial support, it is the moral
Moral
support that we have
support.
to give. And okay, they'll have a restriction once they're just undergoing something in the hospitals, they'll have very much difficulty, but after they get discharged from the hospital, at least make it a point to visit their houses. Nothing will happen now. Good old days, people were just giving you a call on your landline and they'll come to the houses. Now with the invent of mobile phones and technology, no, so people say that it is very easy for them, I'm outside, because that is the landline, you are caught that you are in your home. But now even you can say I'm in a different city, I'm traveling like that. Say most of the people, 80% they'll be at home only, but they do not want to meet people.
And like nowadays phone technology na, like if so many phones have noise cancellation,
Correct.
so if you are in traffic also, other person will not understand whether you are in room or traffic.
Exactly.
You can bluff anything. And again here na, like sensitivity, and previously you spoke about what kind of content and responsibility, how to balance it. There is one thing that is in my like curiosity from almost 10 years 15 years. I was in one film festival. That time I asked with Ramesh Sippy, the director of
Yes,
Sholay.
surely.
Then Ekta Kapoor was there, Love Ranjan. All those people were on the dais, and like some community talk was happening there. So I asked one question ki, as a budding filmmaker, I want to understand ki how you take care of the thing, that how you decide what content should be shared with the society, how you decide to make films. Don't you think that most of, like, sometimes we are not just for the TRP, we are showing something that should not be shared with the public? Then they asked me, what you want, like, give me some example. That time Gangs of Wasseypur was released, and then I gave them that example. I'm like, okay, we understood that kind of incident happened somewhere in the country. Okay, making movie on that, that after that, how, what message we gave to the society, whether like the family rivalry should go to the generations also. Don't you think that we have taught that to so many people, that oh, if your father ka some fight happened with someone, then you should carry on that fight. You should not think why we made those kind of films. Then similarly, when it comes to crime patrol, CID, are we educating criminals or spreading awareness to the general public? What we see in the result, like most of the time, and because you are in media, so you will agree with that. One case comes, okay, right after that parallelly similar kind of cases will be highlighted. When it's come to maybe that latest wala Atul Shubhas case,
Yeah.
one man committed suicide. After that again another news came from Delhi, another man committed in the same thing. And what are we setting up? Like, are we setting that as an example that justice can be achieved through only death and these kind of thing? And then again, previously so many cases came where lovers cutted himself, cut chopped the body into pieces. Then
Kept in deep
Pune,
freezes.
that rash driving hit and run case.
Hmm.
One case came, then after that in just 1 week 3 4 more cases will come like that. So same, I think that comes the responsibility what media should show. And I think in one movie also, Wednesday or something, I think that Nasir Saab or someone, some scene was there. I'm not recalling that name of the movie. That, but they were telling that, hey, media people, you guys are mad. You have become the eyes for the terrorist. Whatever they want, you are showing them, and they are getting update of what is happening in For them, you are just becoming eyes to them. Similarly, sometimes it comes to defense and all. What I always, most of the time I feel, okay, we our achievement, what all we are doing in defense and so different kind of serious sectors, we just want TRP and we are showing on TV, and why are we not giving information to other countries or other people that this is our power, so they will be prepared for to fight with all those. So we should, like, how we can manage that thing.
See, regulation of stories, regulation of content, it's a very important thing. There is Competition Commission of India, which just puts brakes on the different kinds of advertisements which are very deceiving or else giving wrong kinds of returns and all. They're very careful. Regulation is always done. So now the technology growing at a rapid pace, as you just rightly said, there should be some cap on the content also, because if we just take the example of the youth, you do not know that if there are 18 years of age, even if a 14-year-old or 15-year-old, he can just create his own email id and access different kind of websites. So what happens when a child is born, immediately it cries. So then you can just assume that there is fear. Second, it sees blood. So kid that once it is out of the womb, so it is soaked in blood. So that is why even if you see anything, crime patterns will have more kind of interesting stories, or people think that as very interesting, because that cry and blood they have seen from birth. So that is why psychologically, even there is a TV viewing or else a web series viewing, there is a lot of viewing psychology. Psychology is different. You have industrial psychology, you have geriatrical psychology is about old age. Even dogs have psychology. So psychology has existed predominantly since years, but when we come to viewing psychology, so as a person is born by seeing blood, by cries, they'll be always enthused in watching crime series.
The negative
Yes,
part.
yes, so that is their inside. It is an inherent behavior of anybody. So he may mask his face, but there will be many kind of different behavioral patterns. So I and you may behave differently at home, I and you may behave differently in our close circles. So this is a kind of behavioral pattern. There's a question of behavioral pattern. So yes, being in media, we have to be very very careful about what we disseminate the information. Due to this advent of technology, what it is happening is it has become more of personalized viewing now. Even if you see a TV set, so you have an option of watching the same content even on your mobile phone. The same thing can be viewed on a different over the top OTT platform. And even if there are around 4 or 5 people in the house, each and every people can watch their own content. It has become a personalized content. One may like crime, one may like daily soaps, one may like politics, one may like sports, so one may like cooking shows. So these kind of things are really good for the society, that people are, there is a very good platform. So there are two things here. There is a great platform. I even think that 2 decades back, or even 1.5 decade back, even 10 years back, there would have been some different people. There will be very good people who were teaching mathematics. So mathematics was one of the toughest subjects then. They did not have any platform. They used to just teach to 10 people or 20 people in their very small areas. Now they can use and they can train hundreds, thousands of students through the platform of Zoom, through the platform of Google Meet. So that is how there are so many private institutes have come. So previously tutorials was only very small contented space. So 50 students or 100 students being taught for PUC, for 12th grade, for 10th grade, for degree and all. But now with the advent of technology, they can just take it to the masses. So that is one good use. So even if during the COVID times, so technology was really explored and it was used in a very good way. But at the same time, as far as showing the content, obscene content, vulgar content, crime related content, we have to be very careful, because what we are passing to the next generation is very important. Showing a different kind of disturbing news will not take us anywhere. So the only thing is that if you are showing a content of disturbance, then again the same person who is receiving it will become a patient. So either he will lose his focus. So it is very difficult how uh, you analyze things and how you observe things. At the same time, what makes you getting relevant to that? If it is good, take it, or else you should use your intellect. And thinking that even when we were kids, we were just told have a good company, so develop your manners. Even now it's the same. If you do not develop manners, then what it happens, you go and you create rukus. We find out there's a road rage. So there are a lot of kinds of road rage happening, fights in the flight, fights in the metro. Even 10 decades even 1 decade back it was not found out, but now people have developed their egos, that calmness is gone. So their thinking capabilities are getting suffered. They do not listen. There are straight away they go and they do fights. So they have become argumentative, and to prove their point, so they go to any extent of thinking that they are correct. It is just an illusion. So you think that okay, no, I have won the argument. You have not won the argument, you have lost your friend. So where you do political topics, or else you speak on actors, they'll be divided. There are fan hero wars. So you have got different Insta accounts, different Facebook pages. So at the end of the day, nobody is benefiting anything.
I think
Everybody should be
it's
responsible.
very similar. Like uh, we have so many choices of food, but we know what to eat. We know we want to
What
take
to
care of our
digest?
health.
Exactly, gut health.
Same thing with, I think it's not only the responsibility of media or the content creators. It's a same responsibility of audience also. Ki what you
Exactly.
want to feed your brain.
See, media tests it. See, media does a content. If the content is received very overwhelmingly, so what they think is okay, what the content what we are giving is right. If the content is not received properly, then they just go back to their drawing books. They design a different kind of program.
I think you used very amazing word, intellect, because there's a huge difference between intellect and intelligence. So
Very good.
if you can
Correct.
just elaborate that the difference between these two.
It's a very good question. So there are two things broadly classified. One is the mind and one is the intellect. The entire world, entire life, as per me, in any country, if a human is born, so he has been given some intelligence from God. Okay, and intelligence, where and all you can take. Intelligence can be taken from internet, can be taken from universities. So whatever you have been studying for 2 decades, so a person starts his KG or kindergarten or Montessori till he completes his post graduation. It will be 20 years of education that you will be given to it. And human being is the only species among all the 84 lakh species known to the world needs education to survive. Will dog require any education? Will tiger require any education? No. They are driven by their natural instincts. What will the tiger do? Tiger cannot eat grass. It has to attack the prey and it has to consume it. Same kind with dog, same kind with cat, same kind with any bird, vulture or eagle or anything. But yeah, a human being is the only person, only species who requires, Homo sapien is the only person who requires education for survival. Without education, nothing. Even a laborer should know how much sand or the cement he has to mix. Or else, even a person who comes to wash the utensils, he or she should primary little bit of education should be there. But everybody is busy uh, teaching, explaining about making money, about achieving fame, about increasing the bank balance, doing different entrepreneuring ventures. So everything is good. So expanding, acquiring, acquisition, everything is good. But have we ever thought so intelligence can keep us happy, or else intelligence can give us peace? If you see the statistics, you speak what is the achievement index? Achievement index of an individual is how many plots he has, how many apartments he has, so how many cars he has, what is his bank balance, what does his wife do, what in which school his children are studying, so what is his father, so where and all in India he has got his farmlands, or else if has he got any overseas investments. So everything said and done, have we asked or else have we ever thought whether that person is happy or not, whether he's peaceful or not? Nobody. So all Achievement index has been very clear that you see the total number of cars parked in his garage will ascertain his richness, the amount of fame that he wields, so takes him to a different level. Or else the connections, if he has got some many powerful connections, he is respected in the world. So these kind of things are making people to trying to achieve some unimaginable unthinkable things, but nobody is bothered about the intellect. Intellect is not got from universities. Intellect cannot be borrowed by anybody. Intellect is self, it is self governing. You have to develop your own intellect. If we all know that using a very sharp edge knife, if you just stab it to a different person, he will die. So you should have an intelligence, you should have an intellect, so to think that what will happen to that person. So if a road rage happens, if you take a rod and hit him, what will happen? So nobody is using their intellect. See, intellect is always correct. Intellect has no biasing. Intellect has no emotions. Intellect has nothing. It is always right, right, right. It is only right. That is intellect. Then what makes the person commit mistakes? What makes a person commit blunders? You give 10 lakh rupees to some person. You will be knowing his financial situation is very bad and he cannot repay you. So, but he begs you, he asks you that he is in trouble. Okay, on a humanitarian side, you just make it. But you know that the 10 lakh will not come. So, that is your mind. So, mind is always emotional. Sorrow. Mind always asks you sorry. Mind will get attracted to love. Mind will get attracted to affection. Mind will be more emotional. So that is why mind should be weak and intellect should be strong. If intellect is weak and mind is strong, so mistakes happen. So, but nobody teaches the intellect. Intellect can never be got by any universities, even if you do tens or hundreds of doctoral degrees or post graduation courses, also, you will not get it anywhere. It is inside us. Intellect is always right, and develop a very sharp intellect. It is wrong, you should not do that.
It might be like intelligence and knowledge can teach you how to light the matchstick, but what to do with that lighted matchstick, whether you want to cook food or either you want to burn the city,
Beautiful example, yes.
that intellect can tell you.
That's only the intellect can do. See, there is another Oliver Goldsmith, a very famous English poet. He has written a beautiful poem called as a village preacher. In that village preacher, he compares a village preacher to that of a bird. So the adult bird in the nest, how it teaches its offspring to fly. It makes it come out of the nest, and when the once it hatches the egg, the offspring comes out. So each and every day it tries to feed the food. So it builds a very good nest with the branches and twigs. After that, it once it hatches out of the egg, it goes there, it sees that, and it gives it the warmth, and it makes it fly, stands one day, and it takes to the end of the nest and it shows. So it a wingspan it happens. So wingspan will become a little wider, it cannot fly, it will fall down, it will go the next day, and again it will make the bird fly, and one day, so you will not find that offspring, it will go as a free bird. Same like what is the village preacher and the bird, adult bird is compared. How a village preacher has to be there. In his poem he says that a village preacher should go and he should tell everybody. So through his life, through his actions, through his decisions, that he is a village preacher. Whatever he teaches, whatever you preach, at least 10 or 20% of the thing you have to emulate it. You have to, you yourself, you have to follow it. So he compares the village preacher to that of a bird. So how it helps its offspring to come out of the egg, how it makes it to fly. Like that, a village preacher should also be there, where the youngsters there, or else even the elders there, everybody sees him as a role model. So sees his actions. So sees his life, how he handles the situation. So he motivates, he moralizes, and he stands as an exemplified soul for them to show that he is the best. So nobody can change anybody. There is a famous saint of Advaita philosophy called Chandrasekhara Bharati. So, as present chieftains of the Shringeri Mutt, Vidushekhara Bharati and Bharati Tirtha Swamiji, their holiness. So, he comes in the same lineage. So, he says during one of his discourses way back in 1940s or 50s. So, he clearly tells you cannot change anybody in this earth. Being a father cannot change his son, being a father cannot change his daughter, he cannot change his wife, nobody. They are the same. You can only make the others realize. If any person says that I have changed the world, he is foolish and stupid. He cannot change. The only thing is that you can only make them realize. So always that is what Chandrasekhara Bharati says, that is only you can make them realize. Self realization. Only you cannot change anybody, but you can make them realize. So always life is full of realization. So it is self realization. Everybody should realize. Even if they good, if they do good, they have to realize. If they do bad, they have to realize. And karmic theories people will speak. There is Paramahamsa Yogananda who says that the only purpose of life is to see God. He says very clearly. Paramahamsa Yogananda very clearly says that the only purpose of life is to see God. Whatever you do is nothing. So you are here to see God, but we do not have the time, we do not have the intelligence, we do not have the intellect, even we do not have the mind to see the God. So that is why we do different things and get into trouble. I'm not telling being a saint, going into Himalayas and we have to do something. So being in this world only, as what the Gita says, wherever you are, you do. So that is Swadharma and Paradharma. Swadharma means what you are doing it. If I am into media, or else if I am doing some kind of a thing which has given me money, which has given me fame, or else which has given me the mode of survival, just complete to do that, give your best in that. You have been into digital marketing, you have been into so many things. So this is our Swadharma. Paradharma means, okay, I get into aerospace engineering. So if I go to aerospace engineering, I need to have that eligibility to be there. I need to know what are all the parameters there, what is required to be successful there. So in Swadharma is always like that. Swadharma means wherever we are in this present land, don't get depressed, don't get frustrated that seeing an IT engineer, electrical engineer should not get depressed. I'm only into circuits, I'm only doing high voltage engineering. What is this job? So whether see them, he takes his family out of the country, 2 3 foreign trips, he will make it that. If you are just always comparing yourself, that is a starting point of depression.
True, true, true.
So don't ever get depressed. Each and every person in this earth has got a role. If a person doesn't clean the street, your street will become very dirty.
True.
So each and every, even the mason or the laborers are not available, you will not get a good building. You can have great technology in civil engineering, but at the same time you need to have a human interface there. Without humans, you cannot just give that sharpness to the building. So each and every person in this existence is very important. Even if we speak about any other branch of engineering, or else any other strata of the society, each and every person is required for the society to be a more peaceful place.
Like generally, I understand one concept. Like I see everywhere. Like uh, if we go back, maybe decade or century back, now, like the temple or maybe all the spiritual places was meant to be the knowledge sharing spaces. Like people should come there and exchange the knowledge. But nowadays, it's very limited. Like we are going there also. For some other mindset, like not
Correct.
for sharing, that sharing knowledge and all is not happening. And earlier I think we used to find so many people sharing their experiences in that
Discourses.
discourses and all those, huh? And like if you see any kind of unsung hero or someone like you think that very underrated human in from our generation, or not generation, maybe from our country,
So during
any.
Independence period, can we take one example of an unsung hero?
Yeah.
I think the ex-chief minister of Odisha, Biju Patnaik, he was such a colorful, vibrant personality. He was more localized into Odisha politics, but he had his say in national politics also. But my personal view is he is still underrated because of the great phenomenal achievements he has made. He had a great connection with Indonesia, and he was also given a title called Bhumiputra from the government of Indonesia. I'll tell you how. There is a small bit of story. So Indonesia was into the Dutch possession. Dutch colonialists were in fact ruling Indonesia since 1945. So Indonesia, as how India were under Britishers, Indonesia were under Dutch control, and Dutch colonies were established there firmly. So Biju Patnaik, I'll just tell you how colorful he was. There will be Quit India movement in 1942, and Biju Patnaik will be one of the most trained pilots at that point of time. So he'll be commissioned as a pilot way back in 1935 or 1936. So there will be a lot of talks and whether the Indian soldiers will be fighting in the Britishers army against Myanmar. Burmese.
Burma.
So there will be a war, and they'll be supporting because the Indians had to. They'll not have anything. So the Indian soldiers will not have their own regiments. So they were forced to work in the British Army against Myanmar. So the idea of the leaders, our freedom fighters like Mahatma Gandhi ji or Jawaharlal Nehru, Dadabhai Nauroji or Balagangadhar Nath Tilak, were to make their soldiers aware that what they are doing is wrong, that they should not be fighting with the Britishers. They have to give them the non cooperation. At least they have to know that, because they are using us to fight against ourselves. They are using our Indian soldiers, they were using our Indian soldiers to fight against India only. So that is why he'll be requested to just do an idea. He says that he takes his flight, Dakota series flight, which was very famous aircraft. Then he goes there in the mid-air. He stops and he airdrops the paper pamphlets. So he airdrops those papers, just saying them, come. So there is Quit India movement. So you are fighting against the Burmese. So you have to just join uh, our freedom struggle. So there will be lakhs of copies. He will airdrops the paper pamphlets, so which will have the carry of the message of Quit India. We have to just ask Britishers to quit India movement. It will happen in 1942. So his services will be used by then tallest leaders. So because he was a trained pilot. So after that, what happens in 1945? So Indonesia will be free of the Dutch rule. So, but again in 1946 and 47, unfortunately, Dutch army attacks Indonesia from all sides. Basically, it's an island. So, through Java Island, he attacks. So, Sukarno will be the first president of Indonesia. So, later part, his daughter Megawati Sukarno Putri, she will also be the president of Indonesia at a different timeline. So, Sukarno will be house arrested. Then his Prime Minister Sultan Jahir. So he will also be left alone, and Vice President Muhammad Hatta will also be there. Jawaharlal Nehru requests Biju Patnaik what he can do. Biju Patnaik was a very fantastic war-trained pilot. So he, along with his wife Gyana Devi, they set on an impossible, unprecedented mission at that point of time, which was a great operation. So he flies from New Delhi to Singapore, from Singapore to Java, which is an Indonesian island. So his plan will be going from New Delhi to Singapore, Singapore to Java. So somehow the Dutch will come to know about his reconnaissance operations. So they will tell, if we spot a flight, if we spot a plane, we will shot off the plane. So he will not care for anything. He was such a daredevil. So he will go on an expedition with his wife Gyana Devi. They go to Singapore, land there, and from Singapore to Java, they go on an impossible, unprecedented journey. There he lands the flight in spite of the warnings from the Dutch army and the air force. He will never care, and he uh, onboards the then Prime Minister of Indonesia, Sultan Jahir, and Vice President Muhammad Hatta. And so all four. So our Biju Patnaik, his wife Gyana Devi, and Sultan Jahir, and Vice President Muhammad Hatta. They all come to Delhi from Java Island, and they tell to the rest of the world about their plights, and they get the help from United Nations and different corners of the world, and they make Indonesia free from the Dutch rule. And incidentally, he was also called as the cultural ambassador of permanent cultural ambassador of Indonesia, and he was given a piece of forest land and a palatial bungalow for his contributions. But anyway, he will not take that. But he was given the title Bhumi Putra, which is a very rare title given to a foreigner. And in 1992, he also found out the trade route that existed between Indonesia and Odisha. So I feel that most of the people we are just speaking on, many of the heroes, I know that yeah, even for example, we are sitting very close by to your studio at Malleshwaram. There is an area called Sadashiv Nagar here, which you would have heard of.
Mm.
Sadashiv Nagar, there is a great history. Karnat Sadashiv Rao was a great freedom fighter of India. So at that point of time, he was a very rich man. But to feed his people in his village or in his taluk where he existed, the famine exists. So the people will not have any food. He sold off his jewelry, his wife's jewelry, his mother's jewelry, and he takes the money and he makes sure that all people in his village gets food. So that is why there is an area called Sadashiv Nagar, which is named after Karnat Sadashiv Rao. And even after his death, he will be leading a very rich life. His father will be a rich Jahagirdar who had many villages, but he makes sure he donates everything for the sake of the people, for the sake of the food, and he is one of the towering personalities also. And Gandhiji, after the death of Karnat Sadashiv Rao, he goes to the house of Karnat Sadashiv Rao and he condoles by saying that you have given birth to a very great son of India. So let his name be there in the pages of history. The area which is close to your studio, Sadashiv Nagar, now which is a place of palatial bungalows and Richie Rich of
Correct.
Bangalore resides there. It was
Mm.
actually named after Karnat Sadashiv Rao. So there are so many things. While just coming back to again on about Biju Patnaik, so such a towering personality, we just tend to forget. We only read European history, we only read American history in our children's books. So, but we have to keep on reading about the history. There'll be an adrenaline push.
Mm.
So another example, if we take, we have to see the uh, annexation of Krishna Dev Raya. He goes to Odisha and is one of the wives of Krishna Dev Raya. Actually, she was the daughter of the chieftain of Odisha. So he conquers Odisha. Just I'm just telling you the route which he would have taken in those days, in almost 15th century. He goes from Vijayanagara, near our present day Hospet and Ballari.
Mm.
From there he starts his journey. Then imagine the kind of routes, imagine the kind of cavalry, I mean the horses, the regiments, the elephants, the ammunitions, and how many soldiers he would have taken and where there will be a places of halt. Just imagine even a modernization, with so much modernization only we cannot just go to that place. Even you require 2 days now, even if you go in a train or something or flight, you can just but those how to who have been the different chieftains if he had to face during his longest expedition. He goes from present day Ballari to Odisha, so through Vijayawada, uh, Vishakhapatnam route, and how he would have crossed the sea, and how he would have taken the land route. So it is just amazing. Just if you just think how Krishna Dev Raya had gone from the present day Ballari to Odisha and he annexed and he took the fort. So in respect to that, he just gives back the fort to the king of Odisha, and in turn he marries off his daughter, seeing the adventure of Krishna Dev Raya. So there are so many great kings there. And another great example of Kannadiga, Pulakeshin the second. He was called as a Pulakeshin the two. He was one of the greatest kings of Chalukyas. So present day, if you can give the birthplace of Chalukyas or Vijayapur or Bijapur, which we call in Karnataka.
Mm.
In those days only, it had a population of 18 lakhs. So it was a very big flourishing thing. So he was the famous emperor of uh, India. So his birthplace was Vijayapura. He starts his journey from present day Vijayapur and he defeats Harshavardhana on the banks of river Narmada, which is in Gujarat. So just imagine. So there are so many great emperors who have ruled us. We do not tell their stories. We will always tell India is nothing, India is backward, India is dark. So India did not have a history. So it is only the handiwork of the Britishers and the Westerners who showed India in bad light. So Atharvana Veda had everything. Atharvana Veda had Vimana Shastra, Vimana Shastra means aeronautical engineering. So it had everything. It had all material list of possessions. Just imagine Pulakeshin the second going all the way from Vijayapura to Gujarat. Where is Vijayapur? Where is Gujarat? And he defeated Harshavardhana.
So that's what now. That time also engineering was there. As you
Exactly.
said, ki we see ki oh, we have achieved something in this era. If we go back, every time there was some engineering, there was some.
There was lot of nautical engineering. I mean, in terms of boats, nautical miles, everything was there. There were sea routes, no, from Persia. So to India, there were sea routes. Then there should have been technology. There should have been campus, the compass. So different kind of technology would have been used. There were bunkers. There were ammunitions. There were bombs. There were missiles. Everything was there. Even if we take the example of Mahabharata, why it was called as Mahabharata was 94 crore people died in that war. There was a massive devastation. It was the biggest war known to the mankind. In one single war, 94 crore people died. So just imagine the kind of devastation, massive devastation.
Like aeronautical say I came to like that recently the 21st memorial lecture has happened at Subroto Mukherjee hall.
Correct.
So I think if you can just give brief about
Yeah.
that.
So Subroto Mukherjee was the ex Air Chief Marshal of the Indian Air Force, and our present Air Chief Marshal Honorable A.P. Singh was delivering a fantastic lecture at the 21st Subroto Mukherjee Memorial Lecture. He made very good valid points. He was just comparing where we are standing, where our adversaries like China are standing. China is making a stealth aircraft. They have commissioned the stealth aircraft, the stealth aircraft into the Chinese Air Force. So stealth aircraft, it can uh, get into the any airspace, and even the radars will not be able to detect it. America is one of the first countries to have it, and China has developed the stealth aircraft. That is the highest cutting edge air force technology ever known, which China is having. But whereas, so our honorable Air Chief Marshal AP Singh just flagged his concerns regarding the deliveries of 40 LCS, light combat aircraft, which is named as Tejas. The idea was conceived as it is his own words. I'm telling it is his words. It is not mine because I'm not a defense personnel to speak on that. Very due respects to the armed forces, but I'm just telling how your listeners or your viewers should know about the things what we are speaking in every aspect. As it is a freewheeling chat, I just take this opportunity. So he says the idea of light combat aircraft or Tejas was conceived in 1984. The first flight was in 2001, already 17 years gone. But the induction of the actual MK1, which is the advanced version of the Tejas MK1, the induction happened only in 2016. So after 32 years from the conceived stage. So then Indian Air Force have got 40 advanced jet orders to HAL way back in 2000 and 2010. Still, sir, first batch of 40 aircrafts they have not been able to induct and commission. So in spite of 40 years. So at what speed our defense is moving, at what speed our modernization is moving, at what speed China is moving. We are countering China. And another important fact is, so there are totally 42 squadrons in the Indian Air Force. But now among 42 squadrons, there are only 30 squadrons that is in full place. Each flying squadron has got 18 flights. So approximately we have only got 540 flights. Whether our squadron strength is 42, we are already falling short of another 180, 200 flights. Out of 42, only 30 is operational. And the flying coffins are the MiG 21, which had to be replaced by Tejas. So still one squadron, only one of the squadron can only be replaced. So out of 42, there are only 30. In spite of great hard work, sacrifices of the armed forces, and he has also called for private participation also in defense research. Even if we take the example, only 5% is only getting into the defense research. Among the budget, defense budget, only 5% has been given to research and development. So it has to be at least 15%. So if we are going in every phase, if we are having such a big adversary in the northern direction, China. So western direction also there are many adversaries. Now Bangladesh had got an issue which we ourselves liberated them way back in 1971. Now there is an issue there. Pakistan is boiling. So China always troubles us. They're troubling even Japanese also, and more recently they had cut the undersea cables of Taiwan. So because Taiwan is a different separate country, they do not want to get into the Chinese rule. China is forcing them to just come to the rules, but we have to be like Taiwan, in spite being so close to China, and they are not giving themselves an opportunity to be a part of China. So this is a kind of patriotism that each and every Indian should learn of.
Like, because now the speculation of World War III is also in like full space. People are predicting that maybe this year we might have to face almost like we have seen in last 2 3 years how different countries fights are happening, and we have to buckle up with our
Yeah, see,
preparations.
geopolitical tensions previously. There were tensions related to fuel. There were wars for fuel,
Mm.
where we saw the Kuwait and Iraq war in 1990, and there were a war for supremacy of the waters. So between China and Japan. So Chinese bugle is very strong all over everywhere. So even the Ukrainian and Russian tensions are there. So we have the Gaza and the Israel war also going. Geopolitical tension will still increase, because the problem is, even if the Ukraine or Russian war is not stopped, even if, for example, if Russia tastes victory, then each and every country will go to the neighboring country to take the territorial territories. They'll go there on to war the territories. So territorial wars may happen. Even Trump threatened Canada will be a part, and it will be made as a 51st state of United States of America. So these kind of things are always there. And with the IMF Georgia IMF head Georgia also said that Indian economy may just go with a little slower so than the predicted GDP growth. It may be a little sluggish. So this is due to the geopolitical tensions again. Geopolitical tensions always exist. Now with the Trump's office, so we have to see what will be the USA doing, one of the richest countries in the world. What will be their contribution? What will be his take on the Ukraine and Russian warfare? So the geopolitical tensions are existing, and it will definitely exist in a rapid way. So now, as what will be the global slowdown, or as a global progress happens, even our country is a part of. We are already a fourth largest economy. So the Indian leadership has to be wary about the warfare. So wary about the geopolitical tensions and the financial challenges that can come through. So although we are equipped well, we are having a demand locally than globally, because our population is definitely a bliss than a curse. So definitely it is happening, but the leadership is wary of it. And economical warfare is also one thing. So how fast we progress to become one of the richest nations, at that point of time we can have more stability. Now the thing what has happened is, it is becoming like food to mouth. You earn it and you eat. So but we do not have the required amount of resources or the reserves, so to just make India very safe, even if there are geopolitical tensions, or there are many economic slowdowns in across the globe. So still India is one of the poor countries, because due to the population. So even if you have 4 plus 10 or to 15 Indians will figure out. But the only thing is that the per capita income, so with the kind of population that we have, USA has got a per capita income of 69,000 rupees, whether we have got around 1,200 rupees per person. So you can just find the widening economic disparity, or the bifurcation is there. In USA there is a hardly a population of 30 crore, but here we are having more than 140 150 crore. So this kind of a population what we have, it is both a blessing also, and sometimes there is some drawbacks, because of the population, where we need to feed, the housing is important, the food security is important, and then the military security is important. So everything, India has got its own challenges. In 2025, as per IMF data, there will be a little sluggish growth, but we shall hope that where the second or third quarter in this year, financial quarter, may give uh, rich dividends, and we can see that how India progresses.
See, it feels like a magical. Like one side, if we see all those geopolitical tensions and how we have to like put all corrections we have to do in the country. On the other side, next week say we are organizing a Mahakumbh Mela, and full complete like half of the world is in tension, and India is going to host one of the like biggest, largest gathering on the earth.
Yes, yes, it is one of the greatest. And even if we speak about the Kumbh Mela, nobody knows the date of the Kumbh Mela. It was existing 2000, 3000 years back. And even the widow of Apple chief Steve Jobs, Mrs. Jobs, she'll also be a part of Kumbh Mela celebrations. And it is one of the different, toughest, difficult melas to be organized. You will have this Naga sadhus and different akhadas, so which nobody has heard of. They only come only for this moment. There are akhadas, so where they just have this basmas, and you can just find out the sadhus maybe more than 200 or 300 years, but you cannot find them. They'll only be inside the caves, but they do not have any technological clocks or the pendulum clocks. They do not have the watches with them. So 12 years before, then it happened in 2013. So if it is happening in 2025, even sitting in the caves, as and when the Kumbh Mela is approaching, so they come down to the they come out of their caves and they will come to the land area. So slowly they make a progress, and at Kumbh Melas they'll be there. There are so many sadhus, there are akhadas, there are aghoris. After this, so they'll take the holy dip in the Ganga river. So they'll bath themselves and they'll stay there during the course of the Kumbh Mela. And after that, no satellite can detect where they go. That is what I tell you. There are technologies, but India is such a beautiful country. Our philosophy, and there are so many obscure, unraveling mysteries, mystic facts that nobody knows where those aghoris go off. Even if you just put any RFID devices on them, you cannot just find out where they are. So there are people uh, whom I have met. So they have told about their experiences in Kailash Manasarovar during their Kumbh Mela, about their camps. So they have just found out that they can deceive the eyesight. They can deceive the eyesight. You'll be seeing them. You'll be seeing them. It's just like a photo. So immediately, if you see that, that person will not be there. So they have got such kind of unraveling mysteries.
I have experienced this personally once,
Hmm.
because it was again 15 years back or something. I was in one temple in Amritsar, Durgyana temple something, and because we always has that
That
curiosity,
is
na?
where I just brought this
Oh,
from
nice.
your Durgan
So
mandir.
we just tried. I had that hidden camera, so I'm like, okay. They said very clearly you can't record inside that, but like in temple, many places it's allowed, but particular one cave, that cave would come. So in that it's not allowed. But I'm like, oh, I have hidden camera. I will record. And I went inside. I recorded, and till the time I was in cave, my camera was recording. But once I came out, that recording is gone. It
Pah.
disappeared.
So what a great experience that you've
I'm
got.
like, "Hey, it was recording. I checked it, but after coming out, it's disappeared."
So seeing is believing. That is what, see, this unraveling facts. You have yourself have experienced it, and there are so many. And there is another great. He was a saint who just lived in the early part of the 19th century. By 1940 or 1950, he was not there. He was called as Mukundur Swami. Still, his bust is there. So in Chikmagalur district. So there was another great poet called Belagare Krishna Shastri. He has written in a Kannada book called as Yegdagella Aite. Yegdagella Aite, it is a colloquial Kannada. Yogadagella Aite. Everything exists in yoga. It is not the asanas or something. Yoga is a powerful science. So everything exists in yoga. There is a very small book he has written it. His name is Mukundur Swami. Balagare Krishna Shastri has written that book. So he writes about the different experiences. In his village, he goes there as a teacher, primary school teacher during 1930s or something. So there will be another elderly gentleman in his village by name Timegowda. So they both discuss about the different persons whom they have come across. Timegowda at that point of time in 1930s, he would be around 80 or 85 years. He'll be walking with a walking stick. He says to Belagare Krishna Shastri that I have seen Mukundur Swamiji. When I was a kid, I had seen him. He is not to be seen anywhere. He is not to be seen anywhere. So many years, I just don't remember. I myself was a youth. Now I'm 80 plus. I was a youth then, but I had seen him coming to my village. He was helping all our villagers and farmers. Then he went away, and I don't have any information about him. So he is documented in that book. So just within 1 week or 10 days, Belgare Krishna Shastri will be sleeping in his house. Suddenly there will be a door knock. So he will find he'll be a gigantic Ajanubahu. He'll be more than 6.5 feet tall. That Mukundur Swami comes. So whom they both were talking, where another elderly person from his village, Timegoda, who had seen 80 years back. So he comes to see Belagare Krishna Shastri. He was telling, so you remembered me, that is why I have come. So he says that no, he told that he himself is 80, he had seen you as a kid, still you are like this. It is, everything is like that only, he tells, and he laughs. And he tells they both go on entire night they spend regarding Mahabharata different and how the life has to be led. So what are the challenges that one has to face, everything they both speak out. Then in the millie he gets sleepy and he sleeps off. Then to his uh, so he sees what happens to him the next day. By the time he checks, everything will be intact. The door will be locked from inside. Nobody can cross the door. So he will find where is Mukundur Swamiji, where is he? He goes through the house, he will not find him anything. He sees under with the cot, so he cannot find anything. So everything will be intact. But through his Divya Deha, or else through his magical body, he has exited the door. He has exited the door, literally. The door is locked inside, windows are locked, back door is locked. From where did he go? So, such kind of great mystics have lived in Karnataka or lived in India or any other state.
See, I have heard, I don't know whether it's theory or it's reality. I have heard that even NASA is taking references from so many scripts and like Shastras of India.
Absolutely, I'll give you one example. During every Ugadi, you start with one new Samvatsara. It is called a Samvatsara. We use the almanac or Panchang. It is called as Onti Kapal Panchang. Onti Kapal is a area in Mysore which have got the very rich legacy of astronomical calculations. They make ready that Panchanga. It is their art. So through their families of Veda Brahma, Rama Shastri, now his grandson, son, they are all writing it. They are Veda Brahmas. They are so good at astrology and astronomical predictions. They write where are all the solar eclipses happen, where are all the lunar eclipses happen. So you can be the same NASA calendar tells the same. They sitting at Mysore will write that. So they will predict. It is called as Panchanga Shravana. So you hear the Panchanga, you hear the almanac. Every Ugadi you will recite it. So there they will give about the examples of rashis, which rashi will favor it, and about the rains, about the crops. They tell clearly this crops, if you this pulses will have more yield, this pulses will not have yield. They say about the rains, you will have no rains at all in this month. In June month you will get it, in January you will not get it. So they are very clear about the rains. They predict about the crops. They predict about the mindset of men, mindset of kids, mindset of women. They tell how women will be behaving in this month, how kids will be behaving in month, how the behavior of the rajas, how politicians will be there. So what will happen to people? So what will you tell about this? It is science.
Science.
See, Britishers during Western education, what they did, they wanted to separate science from spirituality. But science is spirituality, science is wisdom. So that 20 couple panchanga, even today we recite that in our houses. It gives the day, nakshatra, yoga, what is this day, so till what day this nakshatra exists, and it gives clearly when satyanarayana puja should be done. So when vivaha, that is when marriage, which is the best lagna for marriage, which is the best lagna for naming ceremony, best lagna for your housewarming. So it's everything is there in that panchanga. So they sit at Mysore. But if you whatever the, for example, there are five eclipses that are there in this calendar year. Same NASA calendar will also tell about that. They tell it will not have the gochara, means it will not be present, it will only be present in Middle East, example, or else it will only be present in African nations. So the NASA calendar will also tell this time solar eclipse only is there in Africa, then it is not visible in Asia. So how they can write? So that is astronomy. So the only thing is that if we do not know astronomy, we cannot tell that astronomy is superstitious. So if a person doesn't know, how he can term it as superstitious? You be an authority in that, then only comment. So that is the problem that is happening in our world, including in our generation. We don't believe anything because we do not know it. We are ignorant towards
Lack
knowledge.
of awareness,
Lack
lack
of
of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. We have not studied that. Have we studied Vedas? We don't know. We say, oh, no, Vedas is nothing. But to read that, it requires years of sacrifice, years of focus, years of knowledge. You have to be prepared yourself for everything. But if you do not giving a try of even learning it, how you can turn, how you can disbelieve it, how you cannot stop believing it. So you can only term it as superstitious because it has become a fashion statement now, telling that okay, modernization means wearing a modern clothes, or a decked up yourself by just getting into a different modern world. See, modern way of thinking is nothing to do with the dresses you wear. Modern way of thinking is the way how you lead a life, which you are peaceful and you use technology also keep yourself happy. So that is modernization actually.
So what, like, other stories and facts that you think people should be aware of? Maybe like if you can throw some light on the Chitrakoot, what
Pa-
the importance of Chitrakoot in.
It's phenomenal. I don't know how you got Chitrakoot name. Oh, I was about to tell it. I think you're an expert mind reader also. You're reading my mind. So see, Chitrakoot, I personally visited there. Wow. There are phenomenal facts about Chitrakoot. Chitrakoot was a place where Ramji, Sitama, and Lakshman, when they started their journey from Ayodhya to the forest, started. They came to Chitrakoot. Chitrakoot is a great place. It is in the Satna district of Madhya Pradesh, and that is a very interesting journey. Also, if you want to travel from Uttar Pradesh to Madhya Pradesh, you will go through via Chhattisgarh, present day Chhattisgarh, and you will reach this. The fascinating fact is, okay, Ramji, Sitama, and Lakshman came there for meditation because they had to stay there at Chitrakoot. They were just finding their way. During the Vishnu avatar of Sri Ram only, Vishwakarma had come and he had designed a beautiful cave. That cave, even at an outside temperature of more than 50 degree, but you will have that phenomenal freezing effect inside the caves. So that is again a very good unraveling fact. So Chitrakoot is also famous where uh, Lord Sri Ram told Bharata to be there, and he stayed there. And he also stayed at Nandigram, but he's also stayed at Chitrakoot, where he took the darshan of and blessings of Sri Ram. And there, the most phenomenal fact which I want to tell about is Godavari. So Godavari river takes its birth in Maharashtra's Nashik, but there at just 100 meters you will find Godavari from two caves inside Chitrakoot. Godavari literally flows in Chitrakoot through two caves. So it is believed that she wanted to have a darshan of Lord Sri Ram, so she came there flowing all the way from Nashik. But only 100 meters only you can find. After 100 meters, you will not find Godavari anywhere. That is why it is called as Gupt Godavari. Gupta Godavari, Gupt means secretive, so it becomes as a secret river. Nobody finds out where Godavari river flows after Chitrakoot. Only 100 meters you will just find. So that is why that place is called as Gupta Godavari in Chitrakoot. It is one of the very famous places. So that is really phenomenal how Gupta Godavari comes there. So after that you do not find that. The caves are really good. There is a magical temperature effect there. So Ramji and Sita were believed to be in meditation, and they were taking bath there before their journey to the forests. It is one of the greatest places, and we should be very proud that we have got such places in our India to see.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite fascinating, and like now I want to visit that place for sure.
Definitely, such a great place.
Any other place or any other fact stories? If you could.
Yes, another place where I have visited and have studied a lot is Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is also called as Neemsar in colloquial Hindi. Naimisharanya, any Puranas attached to that. If you take the example of Satyanarayana Vrata, it was started there. So Mahabharata, Vedavyasa wrote Mahabharata at Naimisharanya. So Satyanarayana Vrata started from Naimisharanya. And our human clan, the parents of our human clan, the father and mother, Shatarupa Devi and Manu. Shatarupa Devi and Manu were believed to have started the human clan from Naimisharanya. Means any human beings are there. No, they were the first forefathers. My forefather or your forefather or anybody's forefather is the Shatarupa Devi and Manu. And there you can also find the Vishnu Pada. It was the Pada of Vishnu who came there, and he just planted his feet there. Still now Vishnu Pada exists there. There are so many great mysteries there. Any Purana, if you take Suta Mohamuni and Shaunikadi. Suta Maharshi was one of the greatest exponents of Puranas. He was called as the doyen of Puranas, and he had a congregation of many saints there through Shukamuni. So he used to just through Shukamuni, he has to give the transcendental knowledge. That was the place of Suta Mahamuni. That was the place of Shaunakadi Mahamuni. And Satyanarayana Vrata was started in Naimisharanya with a congregation of 88,000 sages or rishis. Even now, the Saligramas, which were worshipped by Suta Mahamuni, it is still existing. So the Ishvara Linga, which is there, it is still existing. So that was being worshipped by Suta Mahamuni. It was the first place where 88,000 rishis sat there. He through Shaunaka Mahamuni, Suta Mahamuni through Shaunika Mahamuni, he just gave that different facts and rules, regulations of how Satyanarayana Vrat has to be performed. From there till now, it has happened thousands of years. So even now on your full moon day, Purnima, so we celebrate and we do the Satyanarayana Vrat. So the main Mula or the most important thing, Satyanarayana Vrata started in Naimisharanya, and Vedavyasa started writing Mahabharata. So through Lord Ganapati appeared there for him, and that is how that is the same tree is also still existing. That tree is more than 6,000 years back. That still exists there in Naimisharanya. And how it is believed is there will be a continuous tiff and war between Asuras and Devas. Asuras are demons, Devas are gods. So they go to Brahmaji. So they ask Lord Brahma to just give them a very peaceful place which is full of streams, which is full of trees. So they want evergreen forests like that. So he says that he will throw his discus, that is chakra. So wherever it falls, so you have all the devas or the gods should go there, and you have to start your meditation. You can live there for the part of Kali Yuga. So once he just starts his discuss, so it goes and falls in a place. That place suddenly it will be full of water, and will be gush of water coming. There will be flood of water, and entire place will be flooded with water. So the place where that chakra of Lord Brahma falls, is called as Naimisharanya. The place is Naimisharanya. The place is called as Chakra Tirtha, because once the chakra so falls on that land, it becomes water. That is Tirtha. That is purified water. So all the devas will be frightened because there'll be a gush of water, flooding of water. So there'll be floods everywhere. So they go back to Brahmaji and they pray. So what will happen? So he requests Masati in the form of Lalita Devi. She comes and she calms the violent waters of Chakratirtha, and she forms a small pond. So that small pond is still existing today. If you, it is believed very strongly that if you take bath there, purification, skin diseases, everything goes off, and it gives you uh, immediate relief from all the known and unknown sins that is being done. And it is also widely believed there was a British expedition that tried to find out the depth of Chakratirtha. So in 1939, but at that point of time, any modern machinery which they had tried to do the expedition there, they had failed, and they could not find out the tip. So nobody knows the depth of Chakratirtha. So that is a kind of which the legend speaks, and almost all the events related to Puranas, to the Shastras, so everything that effect is there in Naimisharanya. It is one of the beautiful places that is this in Uttar Pradesh, present day Uttar Pradesh.
See, as we said, na, ki we all have to get Satyuga. And for getting Satyuga, I will request everyone that please keep your one small thing what everyone can do that will literally get the change. It's keep your ego aside. Because I literally feel keep being humble is the way to get Satyuga as soon as possible. If
What you beautifully said, there is a very great four lines from derived from Ankuti Manakaga. DVG, TV Gundappa was a great doyen of our Kannada literature. So he has written 745 verses of Mankuti Manakaga. In that one Kagga I will take. One Kagga is four lines. He clearly says, ಅಕ್ಕಿಯೊಳಗ ಅನ್ನವನು ಮೊದಲಾರು ಕಂಡವರು ಅಕ್ಕರೆಯ ಬರಹಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊದಲನಿಗದಾರು ಲೆಕ್ಕವಿರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಜಗತನ್ನಾದಿ ಬಂಧುಗಳ ದಕ್ಕುವುದೇ ಜಸ ನಿನಗೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. So ಅಕ್ಕಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಅನ್ನ means nobody knew that a raw rice contains rice inside. Raw rice cannot make rice. So nobody knows that. Akkaraya Baraha means we do not know who wrote the first poem. Do you know? Do I know? Or anybody here know? Nobody knows. Lekkavirisilla Jaga. The world. Jaga means world has not counted how many people have taken birth, how many people have died, how many people have come. So nobody knows. The world has no time. ಲೆಕ್ಕವಿರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಜಗ ತನ್ನ ಆದಿ ಬಂಧುಗಳ. ತನ್ನ ಆದಿ ಬಂಧುಗಳ means their relatives, their friends. Nobody knows what was the population of Bharat or India way back in 5,000 years ago. Nobody knows. So ಲೆಕ್ಕವಿರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಜಗ, the mother earth has no time to count the people who have come and who have gone. So ದಕ್ಕುವುದೇ ಜಸ ನಿನಗೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. So you are beaming that the victory is mine, I am that, I am this, I can achieve anything, I am the great person having that superlative ego. You cannot never become a god. So you cannot think whatever the victory you are thinking that you are the champion of everything, it is just an illusion and you are a stupid person. So such is the kind of kaga that he has told.
very true, very true, very true. It's like nowadays we started people, we are understanding that where are we today, some other person will be sitting here.
Definitely.
World will not stop.
Correct.
Life will not stop.
We are nothing.
We are nothing. We are nothing. It's
We come here, we go off.
we
That's
go
it.
off. We go off. Like so. Let's make world a better place. And there are so many stories to know. Like that's why the motto behind Asli Kahani also is to cover all those stories,
Original facts.
original and like reality of life.
Yes.
Let's, as you said, that the motto behind Asli Kahani is yes to make a place like world a place, better place to live in.
Correct.
So maybe we'll be doing more talks in coming days, and we'll be unfolding so many different stories because it's like too much of information, and we have to cover. Uh, I'm seriously, I'm my words have gone
Hmm.
because what all I got today now. It's like, yeah, as I said in starting, it's going to be Asli University for the society, and we'll stay tuned to us. Thank you, Navneet ji, for
Thank you so
sharing
much.
that. What we say, like again, I said, now my words have gone. So literally, it's just amazing, wonderful, like what all you shared today, and please keep coming for here, like keep talking to us again and again, and we'll be covering multiple, like, yeah, let's sit again, because I understood, and that in one episode or two episode, it's not enough to.
I should also be very thankful to you, Mr. Nakul, because for the opportunity that you gave. Because the only thing is the platform is very much required. As how in media, we give the platform and most of the people have become famous. At the same time, the brands have also become famous and they have reached every households in India and abroad. So special thanks to your Asali Kahani team. So who have taken absolute strains to be here, being a Sunday. So my special thanks to your team. So I'm very grateful to you, and it is my utmost honor and privilege to be here. So whatever the best from our side is required, I'm always there. So as your punchline about the motive of Asli Kahani tells you, should make this place a better one, a better place to live. So even I also believe in that theory. Let us make the places where we live. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbam.
Yeah.
So I just believe in that theory. The world be a very peaceful place, and peace exists everywhere. So thank you so much again to you and your team members who have been very phenomenal. It's an young and vibrant team. So I'm so happy to have just come here. So more than sharing the information, so you asked the questions in a very good manner, and I don't know what and all I've spoken, but for me it was just like a free flow of words, free flow of thoughts. It was only possible because of you and your team. Thank you so much. So let
it,
us see what best we can
it,
do
it,
for the
it,
society through your medium.
yeah, it was literally a magical day today, because even I don't remember what all we spoke. Frankly, I'm telling you, I don't remember what all was coming in my mind. I was throwing, and I'm, because what I generally I believe now, we all say that it's Kalyug hai. तो कलयुग है, ओके, सतयुग आएगा, आएगा नहीं, सतयुग लाना पड़ेगा, और सतयुग
Correct.
लाने के लिए ही ये शायद हमारा एक छोटा सा स्टेप है जो आज हमने लिया है, एंड वी नीड मोर पीपल टू कम शेयर देयर एक्सपीरियंसेस विद अस, एंड लेट्स गेट द कलयुग सतयुग एज सून एज पॉसिबल.
Superb. Super lines to end it. So Satyayuga and Ramrajya, let
हमें
both of
लाना
it.
पड़ेगा, हम सबको
Correct.
मिलकर लाना
हमको
पड़ेगा.
लाना पड़ेगा. So it has to come.
इंतज़ार मत करो
Hmm.
कि अपने आप नहीं होगा, सब कुछ हम लोगों को मिल. कीप सपोर्टिंग असली कहानी. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट. वंस अगेन थैंक्स अ लॉट नवनीत जी.